Hey, God bless you, everybody. I'm not going to be before you long. I know it's been a long time. Just been very busy. Um, so I had this dream, and in the dream, I was imparting some wisdom. I don't know who I was talking to, but when I woke up, I recognized that the wisdom wasn't mine because I don't talk like that. So you'll see, like using big words and things. I don't talk like that. So I know it wasn't me. Um, but in the dream, I was talking to someone and I was saying, the reason why people who come from like impoverished areas and they make it big and they become multimillionaires or even billionaires, and the reason why they don't, or it doesn't appear that they give back to their communities is because they don't know who to give it to, or the people that they give it to, they find that the money is just wasted. It doesn't really affect change in the community. It doesn't really do anything for the community. So what happens is they'll give the money to a program or organization or a charity, but yet that money or that organization doesn't reach that particular community. And so where you come in is, as God is saying that He has put in you a dream, a vision of a charity or organization or something that you want to implement, that right now it's just in its incubation stage. It's in its dream stage. It hasn't come forth. You haven't laying the groundwork. And God is saying that there's monies for you. He's going to put you in front of these people, but all you have is a dream and you don't have anything either written down, or you have not started even in like a small scale, and you have not started and you don't have anything that is like concrete. Right now it's just abstract in your mind. And God is saying that I'm going to put you in front of these people, or why would I even put you in front of these people when you don't even have anything implemented? You have nothing to show for it. You don't even have the blueprint or the plan for it. So what is the sense of putting you in front of these people and they're not going to give you anything, or they're not going to give you any funding because you don't have anything concrete? And so God is saying that now is the time that you need to start walking the dream that He's given you to affect change in your community. You need to start walking that out now, because there is and this is what this is still all the dream. There is a cry that has gone out for the different poor communities that are struggling, that have been unjustly treated. I mean, it's a fact. You can go to certain places and you can see that some of the people don't even have clean water to drink. If you watch the news, you see what is happening, and you can imagine that's just the different places that we know of that have issues with their waters. What about the places we don't know of? So like the Flint, Michigans, and the places in Jackson, Mississippi, that they're saying that the water is contaminated. And so there's all different types of inequity that is going on, inequality that is going on. And then so you have people who come from those exact same communities, but I'm not trying to give them an out, but maybe their purpose, the reason why they were sent here to the earth was to do something else, but not have this grassroots organization that God has put in your heart to do. And so when these people, maybe the reason they were sent here, or the reason for maybe there's such a time as this, was to provide the grant money for you. But you can't do anything because you don't have anything implemented. You don't have anything written. You don't have anything concrete. You don't even have a plan. All you have is this thing in your heart, in your in your mind, and in your dream that you want to give birth to, but you don't have anything concrete, and you haven't put one foot in front of the other. And God is saying that now is the time, or way past time, to where you need to start implementing, and where you need to start walking it out. And then some of you may be saying, well, I don't have the money to do the things that I wanted to do. Well, you start small. You start with the foundation and you begin from there. And if it is a movement from God, it will come to pass. The money will come and it will work out. The other thing that I was saying in the dream was that these organizations that or organizations or charities or whatever it is, foundation, whatever it is that God has put in your heart, and this is for whoever it is for, whoever has this inside of them, that whatever it is that is inside of you, that you're trying to birth out, that you're trying to walk out, that you're trying to do, what happens is you'll get money from, let's say, a government program, but it comes with strings attached. Let's just say you want to do a healthy eating thing in an impoverished community because in the place where you live, there is like basically a food desert, what they call a food desert. And there may be a grocery store in that community, but their prices are so high, much higher than even in the rich neighborhoods. And some people might say, well, why is that? Those people are poor, so why is their food more money? Well, if you've ever gone to a theme park and an amusement park, and you go to these theme parks and amusement parks, and what happens is that if you're there all day long, you get hungry. Well, their prices are much higher. To get like some chicken, some nuggets and some fries is a lot of money, a lot more than if you were on the outside of that theme park. But they know that you are stuck there for the whole day, so they know that they can charge that much money. Well, it's the same thing in these communities, is that these grocery stores know that they're the only game in town, and they know that maybe the person don't have transportation like that, so they have to go grocery shopping right there in that community because there's nowhere else for them to go. And so they can charge exorbitant amount of monies like that. So they call it a food desert. So either they do have a grocery store, but it's so much more money than the other competitors on the outside, or they just don't have any grocery stores, and then they have to use use extra money on transportation just to travel outside of their community to get groceries. So oh boy, what was my point? So let's just say that you wanted to have, like you said, affect change in your community, to have some type of like food program to combat the food desertness in your community. So I know I just made up word. So you want to have that program. Well, if you accept money, let's say from a governmental agency, what they will probably do is have you push, let's just say, a known allergen, a known allergen, which a lot of people have food allergies to milk, to gluten, to other things. And so they may say, well, you need to push this milk or we're not giving you this money. Well, if you look in Black and brown communities, most of us, that gene, to whatever they want to call it, I don't know if it's what they call it, a gene, something, whatever mechanism that allows us to the enzyme that allows us to digest milk is usually turned off in us at a very early age. And in African Americans and other people who are of non-white descent generally do not have that enzyme to digest milk. And so this is why we have to go out and get all these different pills to be able to digest it. But yet it is still causing inflammation in the body. And so that would defeat the purpose of the organization that you were trying to, or the healthy eating program that you're trying to implement in your community. And so this is why things don't get off the ground, maybe your organization does get off the ground, but because it's tied to someone else pulling the strings and saying, well, if you want this money or this assistance for your program, you're going to have to push this or preach this or whatever. When in fact, if you do push a known allergen, you're causing more harm than good. And so, it's been, it's documented fact that food allergies can cause a lot of issues, all the way up from a stuffy nose to lowering your immunity to respiratory issues. And so, and I remember when Oprah had said something about a particular industry and they came after her behind. And so I mean, if they coming after Oprah, and they loved Oprah back then, I don't know about now, but they just loved Oprah. They came after her. You could imagine that what will happen to you. Your program will be shut down. So also in this season, you have to be, and I used to hear preachers and prophets used to say this all the time, watch who decides that they want to give you this huge offering, because if they give you, all this money, it comes with strings attached. They're going to want you to start preaching what they want you to preach. They're basically, you're going to be bought. And so this is the reason why a lot of communities don't get the help that they need, because there's so many different players or hands in the pot, so to speak, or puppet masters behind an organization that is supposed to help but doesn't really help. The long and the short of it, just to recap, God is saying that those of you that have had this dream, this cry in your heart to help your community. Maybe you're not a multimillionaire, but you got yourself to a point where you're financially secure, you're a law-abiding citizen, and you're doing what needs to be done as a family man or family woman, but you want to see the community you came from come out of the poverty or whatever it is, the issue that's plaguing that particular community, because every community has something or multiple things. Maybe you want to give back and affect change. How can you do that? You want to do that, but you don't want the strings attached. God is saying that he is going to put you in front of people that have monies that to be able to help you. But now is the time that you have to go and implement these things and begin to lay the foundation of whatever it is that you're building. So that's one thing. The other thing, like I said, I'm not saying that these multimillionaires don't give to charity, because some of them just know that they need to do that anyway for tax purposes. But the ones that really have a heart for their community, the reason why you're not really seeing anything move, because you would think if somebody made it big and they came from your community, and let's say your community is very impoverished, you would think that community will be on the come up. Well, a lot of times they can't, because they don't have a grassroots community center in that particular community. What it is that they'll give money to a charity, but it is like maybe a state-run charity, and it doesn't funnel, that money doesn't funnel down to that particular community. And so, if you had something up and running and that celebrity or whatever came from that community, they would know who to give the money to. But because you're just the individual, you're just Sally Joe from around the block, and you have nothing in writing, they can't give you anything. They can't give you any funding, And so what I think a lot of times is these people are just tired of giving their money out and nothing happens. And so you see that a lot of times they just don't. Or if they do, they just do it for tax purposes, and it doesn't do anything. But the word that God used, not necessarily a big word, but it's just a term that I don't generally use. But God is saying that it has to be on a cellular level. It has to, whatever this program that you're trying to do, it will be on a cellular level. It will be inside that community. Or maybe you don't live in that community, but the meeting place or the gathering place or wherever it is that you do the business, it will be at the cellular level. It will be on the ground, as grassroots, as they say. It will be on the ground and not from a far away place. You'll be basically in the trenches, basically, because what is going on is we're fighting a war. We're losing a whole generation of people to all sorts of things. So it goes from healthy eating, like I mentioned, all the way to teaching the youngsters how to be about their business, how to conduct business, how to do their finances. When we go through school, all through high school, I don't remember them ever teaching on that. How to balance a checkbook or anything, or taxes or stocks and bonds. They never taught any of that stuff. And so people can only rise up to a certain level because they're never going to generate wealth because they weren't taught. And and one can surmise the reason for, can kind of go into that whole rabbit hole of the why, you know what I mean? Like, why don't they? But I ain't going there because I ain't said that in the dream. I'm just telling you what the dream was about, which is basically, like I said, if there's a dream inside of you that you want to produce, you want to push out, you don't want to leave this earth without doing the thing for which you were called to do. So, some of you are thinking, well, maybe I need the money first before I do it. But God is saying that that's not how it's going to work. But you're going to be holding your breath for a very long time. You need to step out on faith and do what you have to do. And then the money will come. Just like they said, if what's that movie where it's like, if you build it, they will come, that sort of thing. So you have to build it first, and it's going to come. All right. So God bless you. And until we meet again, I'm supposed to say like, share, and subscribe it. Okay. All right. I love you guys. Bye.